lay followers. So we're going to start now. Here we just finished it for monks and nuns, 5 great vows. I'll just overview the things. Now for lay followers, Shravaks and Shravikas, they are not required to renounce the world. They should discharge their household duties by honest means. They live a progressive, pure spiritual life. It is not like from the beginning. No, it takes time. It's a progressive, pure spiritual life. They need to support ascetics, scriptures, education, temple, upasraya, and like so. Upasraya is humanitarian activities and jivdaya activities. All the things, responsibility lies lay followers, to the lay followers, okay? To maintain the religious organizations, okay? To maintain the monks and nuns and support them, make all the provisions for their educations and everything, whatever their needs are. Maintain the family. Everything, they need to bear. So these are all the responsibility, observing faithfully. To what extent they can practice these 5 vows, and that extension is defined, and that's what we are going to talk about. This is to what extent they need to do it. Okay, you can do it better than that, that's good, but there is a certain minimum limit that you must do this much. You cannot break that barrier. All right, so let's see that way. They follow the 12 vows of the lay people. And these 12 vows are grouped into 3 groups. The 5 main vows of limited nature, which we call it Anuvrat. Same name for monks and nuns is Mahavrat. For us, Ahimsa Anuvrat. Just simplified way of saying. Okay. Then there are 3 additional vows. Is called Gunavrats, 3 merit vows, the 3 Gunavrats, and 4 disciplinary vows, 4 Shiksha Vrats. And we will go through all these 12 vows. This is what we need to practice. Okay, 5 Anuvrats. In reality, these 5 Anuvrat is the vows. The rest of the one are independent in a sense that if you do it better, it is good. But you don't have any must things attached because it is individually dependent. To do Samayik is a disciplinary vow. To do Posha is a disciplinary vow. Now, that doesn't dictate you that you have to do 1 Samayik a day or you have to do once a month Posha or whatever it is. These are all Shiksha Vrats. This is the kind of the education they provide, that you do that if you do Posha, then at least you have a taste of monk life for a day or 2, or like people will do operation all 8 days. Okay, and only that limited duration you live as a complete life as a monk, only for that limited duration. So we will discuss now those kind of the things. There is a Gunavrats, there is a Shiksha Vrats. These are what the name suggests, okay? But the first 5 main vows, they are the real vows in a sense, and their Anuvrat is a distinct limit defined. And every Shravak and Shravika, when they take these vows, they have to fulfill that limit. And we will discuss what are these limits. Then they indicated that these limits by mind, speech, and body or action. Okay, so you got to practice mind, speech, and body, or mind, speech, and action. All 3 ways, the way the monks have it. They're in Mahabharata: body, mind, and speech. But here is the difference comes: not to do it and not to ask others to do. But the third one, the third leg, not to approve such action, is not included in our vows. So only Karyu and Karavyu is included. And the third one is Anumodyu. It is not included in our vow. If you can do it, is well, good, better. But it is not as a part of the vow. So sometimes, no, when we are sitting over here with the friends or anybody, and we talk about Donald Trump, okay, that one is actually excluded in our vow. Approval or anumodyu or not approved, whatever, no, we do it. Okay, that doesn't mean we continue to do it. They said, if you do that way, okay, it is not part of the vow because it is unavoidable sin in a sense. Okay, it's unavoidable. Otherwise, you might as well take the diksha in a sense. Also, they're saying the reason we are not taking the diksha, reason in my day-to-day, performing my duty for towards the family, or many situations would come. And that one, if we are putting in that things into this vow, then every day people will be breaking the vows. And if the people will breaking the vows every day, then that vow has no value. Mostly, if you can do it, and once in a while that you get break, then it is a vow has a limit, a value to it. Otherwise, oh, if I'm going to break it every day, these vows, then what good it is? Okay. So, and that's the one we will discuss it at the end when we discuss the question answers or before the question answers. Okay. So that's the point I'm trying to indicate, these 5 vows of limited nature, Anuvrat. Okay. Then 3 merit vows. It's like additional vows, okay, to take you towards renunciate life. Okay. The merit vows and the disciplinary vows are ready to prepare you for the like I said, renunciate life, because ultimately we have to take renunciate life for liberation. There is no other way. You got to uh, do it fully, practicing all these 5 vows. All right. Now, 5 main vows of the limited nature. First vow is non-violence, Anuvrat. Non-violence, Anuvrat, or Ahimsa, Anuvrat, whatever. Its technical name is Sthul Pranatipat Virmanvrat. No, this is a Prakrut name. Sthul, not Sukshma. Sthul. Okay. Sthul Pranatipat. પ્રાણીનો નાશ કરવો. સ્થૂળ પ્રાણાતિપાત વિરમણ. વિરમણ એટલે એને હર્ટ નહીં કરવાનું. Okay. So સ્થૂળ પ્રાણાતિપાત વિરમણ વ્રત means do not hurt any innocent, movable. Keep that thing. No, I just colored it. These are most important sentences. Okay. First is the innocent, movable, living beings intentionally for my selfish motive. So what my Ahimsa Anuvrat says, first of all, is a movable living being. Trust movable living beings. Trust Kai, trust Jews. We are excluded Ekindriya. The reason we are excluded Ekindriya, because the life cannot exist without violence towards one sense living being. Because it's very simple reason. We need to cook food for the nutrients. We got to light the fire. We got to cook the vegetables. Everything is violence. When we cook, everything that vegetable has, all the living being is going to be died. Okay? When you light the fire, everything is done. They are all gone. For one sense living being, even we like we drink a glass of water. When you drink a glass of water, once it goes in stomach, everything is dead. Even though it may be alive. Actually, if you do it before, boil the water and drink, it is a lot less, because it's not a regeneration process stopped. That's why it is. You are killing once, but then it's continuously birth and dying is reduced. All right. So what am I saying is that life cannot exist without violence. Even monks don't exist without violence, but they are not doing it. That's one thing. And the second thing, we are not doing it for them. When we give alms to the monk, that food, whatever we give them, that was done, we cooked for us. And now we are giving portion of it to the monk. All right. So it was not like I have cooked extra because monk is going to come. If you do it, then you cannot give to monk that particular food. The true rule is whatever you normally cook for yourself, from that portion of it, give it to the monk, which you can live without it. You don't have to have that extra food. Okay? And you have to be honest to yourself when you are practicing your own rules. Okay? Similarly for water, similarly for other things. Okay? Clothes. Clothes, actually, if you really look into it, If you give it to the monk, then you get less for yourself. So there was nothing for the monks. You got it, and the violence occurred because of them. That is strictly prohibited. All right. Even though you can say, but yeah, the monks have to eat, they have to drink water, okay, they have to walk. Yes, understand that, but that is the very bare minimum, and not for their purpose. Okay, so okay, now for the lay people, one may use force if necessary in the defense of his own country, society, family, life, property. These are all exception to the rules. It is excluded in Anuvrat. Okay? Like if somebody attacks my religion or the property of the religion, or somebody attacks my country, all these things, if you are called to protect and defend the country, it is your duty to go. It is not like that, oh, I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment, something like that, Jain, oh, I cannot kill anybody, I cannot do that one. Okay, no, that kind of the thing. If you really look into the rules, it is clearly defined. If you are still conscious is objectives, then you still have to join the army for other duties, not for fighting. But it is that always, otherwise, no, you are really breaking a big rules in a sense. It is all part of those rules are excluded from your uh, Anuvrat. Okay, so that is the point I'm trying to tell you. For ahimsa is ahimsa Anuvrat is only for movable living beings. Okay, and that also innocent means you got to make sure you don't hurt any innocent people, and intentionally. Okay, so these are, you got to be very careful. But if somebody has come to your home and did robbery, you have every right to defend it, and it is still, you are not violating any ahimsa Anuvrat. Okay, that's the very clearly see, no, is defined. Okay, next, let me go into other verse. Since life cannot exist without violence, use minimum violence to one sense, even though one sense is excluded in the vows. There is a cautionary statement is given to you that one sense belongs, one sense beings or lowest sense beings for our survival in agriculture, industrial, occupational living activities with thorough carefulness and due precautions. So this is the very, the fact is, one sense living being is not included in your vow. That does not mean you can kill, hurt, use as much as you can, as much as you want to. They said no, only you have to use as minimum as needed for your healthy survival, for the healthy survival of monks and nuns and the societies and the family. Use your own wisdom. That is the things. and protect the environment. Use biodegradable product instead of foam and plastics, because we have the money, we wanted to do it cheap. All right. In today's environment, the environment protection should be the highest sin. I mean, if you cannot protect the environment, if you degrade the environment with the plastics and foams and other stuff, okay, because it's going to destroy the whole humanity. The consequences is really big. So when you look at your own wisdom, what is the consequences today? We are using up the natural resources at a very faster rate, and look at all the environmental changes that is been occurring over here. So anyway, this is the kind of a non-violence, the vow for lay people. With Anuvrat, yes, you can use one sense living being. At the same time, waste is violence. Anything you waste more than you need, that is prohibited, but that is subjective in a sense. Okay, but I'm pretty sure you cannot cheat yourself. You can cheat anybody else. Whether you have used excessive or not, you are the only one can make the judge and nobody else. So if I just have to just repeat the first vow, Stool Pranti Virmana, just to summarize you, do not hurt any innocent, movable, living beings, trust you intentionally, selfish motive, sheer pressure, sheer pleasure, etc. One may use force if necessary in the defense of his country, society, family, life, property, religious institute, or and like. And since life cannot exist without violence, use minimum violence on one sense living beings or the lowest sense living beings for our survival in agriculture, industrial, occupational, army, whatever the words you want to do, whatever the needed function of the society, living activities with through carefulness and due precautions, and protect the environment, use biodegradable, use something which you don't have to use of those biodegradable anything, use like reusable plates, okay? But it is not convenient everywhere when you have a social gatherings or any other functions you're doing it, then use the biodegradable. First, use the reusable. If reusable is not possible, use biodegradable. But just for the sake of few pennies, if you are using plastics and foam, I would rather limit the food and food items, but not to use biodegradable, because that is the highest sin. Okay, you are part of the killer of the whole universe, whole humanity in reality, and you don't want to be the part of that system. I think we already have 10 o'clock. So, Sejal, do you want me to continue or what do you want me to do?
Uncle, we have some questions as well. So maybe we can stop if Ahimsa
Yeah,
Anuvrat
and we will
is done.
continue next week.
Yeah.
first.
So, did you have anything more about Ahimsa Anuvrat? Then we can finish that Ahimsa Anuvrat and then.
Which one?
Ahimsa નું હવે બાકી રહ્યું Ahimsa Anuvrat.
No. Ahimsa, I think there were two charts. Just a 1 minute. Let me see it. Now the truthfulness comes.
Okay.
The second one. That's why I stopped it here.
Okay. So, Uncle, I think we'll stop here and we'll just take some questions and we can continue next time.
No, the reason these are all important topic, I wanted to spend little more time in that sense. That's why people get understand. Even if I do less, okay, but less with the proper understanding is much more than covering more, covering everything. Okay, so just to make sure. All right.
Pravin Uncle, if you don't mind stopping the share so we can see you.
Sure. Okay, let me stop the share. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so